What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Trent the Truth Show. I'm your host, Trent the Truth. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're listening from, thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to our podcast on Spotify and YouTube. It's the Trent the Truth Show. And while you're doing that, give us some love on social media. It's Trent the Truth on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you search. Real quick, today's episode is brought to you by Budgets and Bundles. Budgets and Bundles. No more going to Family Dollar or Dollar General. You can come to Budgets and Bundles, where we have everything you need at a better price, plus more. Located in Calumet City, Illinois, 1608 Sibley Boulevard. Again, that's 1608 Sibley Boulevard, Calumet City, Illinois, 60409. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m., 6 p.m. Closed on Sunday. Budgets and Bundles. Come on by. We got the best deals that you need. And just like I tell you guys, if you want to be a guest, you want to sponsor an episode, you got any questions, comments, or anything you want me to address, email me at trentthetruthshow@gmail.com. Again, that's trentthetruthshow@gmail.com. And if you're feeling good and you want to bless us, our Cash App is TrentTheTruth88. Again, that's TrentTheTruth88. Don't forget to put the $ in the front. And for the people out there in TV land, we got the QR code on the screen, so you can just pull your phone out and make that donation from wherever you're watching. But whatever you decide to do with the show, whether it's a question, a comment, a donation, you want to sponsor, whatever you decide to do with the Trent the Truth Show, we are always grateful. We appreciate any interaction, as always. And further proof of that is we got a guest today. One of the homies, man, going all the way back from grammar school up until now, man. We got Timmy in the building. What's up, big dog? How you feeling?
What's going on, man?
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming.
From Shoot School, man.
Yes, sir. Introduce yourself, man. What you got going?
Legendary things, man. As you know, I'm Timmy to y'all. I'm Timmy, Rotimi. Man, from Ada Park. Went to Morgan Park High School.
Okay.
Florida A&M University. And then, man, just into the real world, man.
That's what's happening.
Just living, man. Actually, man, not trying to survive, man. Doing my best to live.
That's
100 way.
That's what we not doing. And that's what you got to make sure you're doing. You got to make sure you're doing more than just existing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More than just surviving, man.
That's good.
You gotta live for sure.
That's good. So I had to get you down here, man. I follow your page, of course. I see a lot of the content and a lot of the things. You drop a lot of gems. So I figured I would get you down here, what I'm saying, just so we could talk and we can help educate the people on just doing things a better way. Just you know what I'm saying? Just a smarter way. Just like I say, just better. Upper class, just getting older, more mature way, the 100 way.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. So just going back to everything you've been doing, like I say, we been knowing each other since grammar school. Shoot, go all the way back to you was playing baseball for the Monarchs. You was a pitcher. Yeah. So did you keep playing after that, or you didn't play?
No, man. You know what? It was crazy. For most people, I picked up like baseball kind of late, like maybe 9 or 10 years old. But I was like naturally gifted at baseball, naturally gifted like hitter, at baseball. So after the Monarchs, I went on, and played JRW, right? And making from Ada Park to the JRW All-Star teams and stuff like that, travel teams. And then went on to play in high school. I was a freshman, started on varsity, at Morgan Park. And that's pretty much the end of it as far as I got with it. Okay, so it was just something to do, Okay. But I related to a lot of things in life, right? Like, I think if I, understood what it took to be great when I was a shorty, I could have been great.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I started throwing parties and, I wasn't in the gym and, working out and really working on my game.
Right.
So it ended where it was supposed to end.
I get that. I get that. But I tell a lot of people just from playing sports, being involved in the whole environment, there's so much that you can learn and pick up from that. And I feel like if you stay true to those team concepts and everything that you get from the sport, it can just help you in everything that you're doing with your life. And that's just one of the beauties of sports. But with everything you've been doing, like I said, you in the real estate now. I never got a chance to get by there, but I do remember Drink House.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did that get started, or like has that whole club scene or like party promotions, has that been like the majority of your background, or has that just been a passion?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's a good majority of my background. I
Okay.
mean, going back to when me and you met, like
Right.
my whole juice, like at shoot school. Like when I moved from the north side, I moved straight to shoot school, and like my older cousins was like really cool. Like they was like them people.
Right.
And then me coming up, my parents were just always throwing me parties. Like every year since I was 1 year old, so I can remember. It was like I had a party.
Yeah.
So my cousin used to always come, and then when I moved to the south side, like I got introduced to juking. Third and the fourth grade, like my cousin, I'm like, yeah, this how you kick it, this how we party. So my first party, a basement party when I was living on the south side, was a juke party.
Right.
And then people that came went back to shoot like, yo, this fourth grader, like his parties be crazy.
I'm trying like,
and that's where party promoting started for me. Crazy as it sounds.
Wow.
That's where it started.
Cause you was always known for that, like
Yeah.
the cool kid, like
Yeah.
whatever Timmy was doing, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be
for sure,
just good. So it's like,
yeah, for sure. So I mean that happened, and then when I got to high school, I was still doing birthday parties, and I ended up starting this group. It was called the Bros. Well, not me. Me and friends of mine. Shout out.
I remember that.
Shout out David. Shout out Deshaun. A lot of my boys. We started a group that was really based on us kind of being a support system for each other.
Yeah.
Bros stands for Beyond Relying on Society. So we was pushing it as, all right, instead of relying on society, like the community and the environment that we were growing up in, and learning our lessons there, we was going to be beyond that.
Right.
We was going to depend on each other and learn from each other, as a means of growing. So then we started throwing parties, in high school, and then we were the only people doing it. So it was like team parties, and like it just became the biggest thing because nobody else was doing it. So in the city of Chicago, the Bros parties were legendary. I'm sure you got a big Chicago audience. So I know a lot of people go be like, oh yeah, on South Chicago, they was going crazy. We had parties at the Simeon Alumni Village.
Okay.
That was crazy. And then I went on to Florida A&M University, where some of my best friends, Daniel and Amir, who I do like probably most of my business with today, we started doing parties at a place called Potbelly's, and we were like the first on that campus, like popping bottles. So we changed the culture there, and then we were the first like really using influencers. Like influencers today is like a huge thing. Like everybody knows influencers, but we were just partnering with the most popular Greeks, the most popular people on campus, putting them on payroll, and then we were just throwing these events.
Wow.
And then eventually after graduating, now we do a lot of the homecoming stuff at Florida A&M. So a lot of the alumni parties. They allowed us to do a festival on FAMU's campus on the track. During homecoming. So we, with some of my other partners, but we constantly go back to Florida A&M and host parties and events.
Did you pledge in college?
Yeah. I'm an Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the bros. We just
Ice cold
celebrated. December 4th. We just celebrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you pick the Alphas?
Man, it was crazy. It's crazy to actually speak on that. So my older brother's a Sigma.
Okay.
He went to University of Illinois. But I think, and I talk about this a lot, right? I talk about the importance of like being, in both ponds, right? Like being a big fish in a small pond, and then also being a small fish in a big pond.
Right.
So leaving Chicago, for me, I felt like I was like a very big fish in a small pond. Like my mindset, my thoughts, and my ideas, like I was just the biggest thing, coming out of Chicago. But then when I got to Florida A&M, that was probably the first frat that I saw. And a lot of the guys that embraced me kind of out the gate, I realized that, these dudes super cool, but then you will look around and, this is the president of the SGA. And, you see these people around campus, and they're highly revered people. They super cool. They getting chicks, they having the best parties, but they also, thriving and learning and doing things the right way, taking their education serious. They got all these internships. And I was like, damn, this is what I've been pushing in my mind mentally with the bros. Like, man, I've been they were what I was trying to be and what I need to be around to grow.
Okay.
And that's what I saw. So, that's where I followed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So it really wasn't like a lot of different organizations trying to come get you.
They weren't. I mean, they weren't necessarily recruiting, maybe to a certain extent, but not really, because like HBCU campus is like, you got to realize it's all black people. And there's only so many frats, so they don't got to come to you. Like it's thousands of people, coming to them. But there were certain people that definitely embraced me, from my chapter. When they saw me.
What benefits has come from that? Because see, you got a lot of people out here, and I want you to just let me know how you feel about it. You get a lot of people out here that like to throw salt on the Greeks, or just because they pledged, or they try to tell you, oh well, you got to do this to get friends, or like what.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing was, like I said, it gave me that pond that I needed, right? It gave me that big pond that I needed. It gave me people that were doing things at a larger scale than me.
Okay.
Setting the example for me, showing me things that I couldn't even fathom, just coming from, the south side of Chicago. Like,
right.
Oh yeah, who was on Wall Street, the past 5 years, making $60,000 a summer. Like,
I might not have met him.
Never would have never known him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Would have never known him. Like I said, two of my best friends, one that I met here, and then one that I met because I am an alpha. And who we've made millions of dollars together.
Okay.
Over the years. I would have never met my best friend. But I look at, the Greek experience just like going to college, right? Like, you got people who will say, oh well, you don't gotta go to college, which is true, right? But anything in life, you only get out what you put in.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So you can go to college and bullshit in college and have a bullshit and not have a job. You know what I'm saying? When you graduate.
Right.
But anything that you have the opportunity to do, you got to do it to your fullest potential. And you can't just coast by. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I wanted to get something out of being an alpha, I want to network. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of different resources, a bunch of different things that I need to go to. A bunch of different professional development things that I did, I went through. You know what I'm saying? I found some of my best friends that became entrepreneurs, and we worked at all the businesses, that we created together.
Right.
And so I went above and beyond the call of just being the alpha. And that really came because I've been a cool, you know what I'm saying? Not to sound arrogant, but I've been a cool nigga.
You have.
So it wasn't like, oh, I'm an alpha, now I'm the man, so I made it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, I'm an alpha. This feels a little bit bigger than what I'm used to. But okay, I'll probably end up being a man here too. But how am I gonna take this to the next level?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's good.
So yeah, I mean, I relate it to anything else, man. You don't have to be, Greek. You don't have to go to college, but it definitely affords you different experiences, different relationships, and then another thing about Greek life is I automatically got a network that a lot of people don't have.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And even though the biggest alphas in the world ain't gonna recognize you because you're alpha, you know what I'm saying? If you get to doing your thing as well, they're gonna acknowledge you and help you along the way. And I can really, for the most part, pull up anywhere and see somebody in alpha gear, and they gonna, it's gonna be love.
That's good.
So that's a beautiful thing.
Would you encourage people to do that? Like, would you encourage your son to? That's good.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I would encourage my son to be Greek, but I would encourage him to take full advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? And not just wear the letters, you know what I'm saying? Pour back into it.
Right.
But, also...
Because there's work required of just, like you say, not just wearing the letters, having the jacket, going to all the festivals and things like that. It's real. Exactly. It's a real responsibility.
It's a real responsibility. And the biggest responsibility that I could say I give back is, mentoring. Whether that's, directly or indirectly. The opportunity to, like you say, the 100 way, right? Like, it's a ton of younger alphas and just younger people in general that may see, the way I do things and be like, yo, like, let's chop it up. Let's have a conversation. Right. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. How would you approach this? How would you approach that? And all the lessons that I learned along the way, I'm encouraged and inspired to, pass that down. And that's part of the legacy that I'm leaving.
Right, because you think about like some of the famous alphas. One that I know off the top, of course, Dr. King.
Absolutely.
So you think about just being in that company.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And you feel that. You know what I'm saying? You feel that, and you proud of that.
Right.
Yeah, you proud of that.
And that's what gets me confused. Like I said, I didn't pledge.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of people that just have just a whole negative outlook on it. Like,
yeah, but I mean, people always got advice about shit that they never do.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. So it's like,
you take it with a grain of salt.
That's true. So you hear it, but you don't hear it.
People will tell you things about people that they don't know personally.
That's true.
You know, how you know that about that person?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Or about that, or tell you about places that they never been. Oh, I would never go there. Like, how you know if you ain't never been there?
That's true. So the people that you linked up with and the people you was pledging with, so are those some of the same ones you started Drink House with, or
Absolutely.
when
Absolutely.
when did that get founded? Like, what was the whole?
Yeah, the year, man, I can't remember what year that was exactly, but I do remember we had like a 13-month run, and that's all we had. But it was a legendary run.
Okay.
But I started Drink House with one of the old alphas, actually from my chapter, named is Teddy Gilmore. You know, he was a known guy here in the city of Chicago, owned clubs, promoters, restaurants. My other boy Daniel, who's one of my best friends, godfather to my children. So all those different things. I met. He went to King here, but we ended up being roommates at FAMU.
Oh wow,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, our first year, and then my other brother Amir, who's like he's a tech, he's a genius, a genius on the tech side. And then Ross, who a lot of people probably know Ross Mack from, he's from Chicago, went to Whitney Young, and he's like the founder of Maconomics. And I mean, he's been on Netflix, all over the news, and just breaks like finances down in like in a palatable way, for our community. Incredible things. But yeah, we all came together, and we established Drink House.
Okay.
And it was like, man, it went to the moon out the gate because you had people who were popular.
Was it easy, or like just the whole process of just starting a business? Like what does that take? Because you get a lot of people out here, they start a business, they look for profit first, and they don't have no operations in order.
Yeah, and that's interesting that you say that. Because I think that was one of the reasons that we failed as a business.
Okay.
It's because operationally, we weren't where we need to be. We didn't have the proper licensing, that we should have had. To do what we were trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's 100% accountability.
Right.
On my end, but a lot of times, as Black people, I would say, we major in the marketing, right? Like, I'm a promoter, we all promoters, so we gonna pack the joint. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it boiled down to: the lifestyle, the fact that we had been doing parties, the fact that people was rocking with us. It went to the moon.
Right.
Because of the great marketing, and people wanted to come out and have a good time. But operationally, to your point, you know what I'm saying, we weren't where we needed to be. Yeah.
And it's good that didn't like stop you. What was after that? Did you do anything after that, or you kind of just gave business a little break for a while? Or?
Yeah. So I mean, we got shut down.
Okay.
Let's just leave it there. We got shut down, and the next thing I did, well, two things kind of happened simultaneously. My brother Amir, we had been just talking about tech and different things that we wanted to do over the years. He really put pen to paper on an idea called Music Breaker, which is what it was initially.
Okay.
Which is a tech company that I'm a founder in.
Okay.
And then also my wife and me around this time, I bought my first multi-unit property.
Okay.
In Chicago, and those were the next things that happened after Drink House.
Yeah,
so Drink House getting shut down, it was disheartening, but it was a beautiful thing in the fact that one, my girlfriend at the time is my wife now, which is tough, as a club owner. But then two, we had time and energy to expand and resources to expand, and founding a tech company, but then also get into the real estate game.
That's what's up. And I saw a video that you did. You was talking about the real estate. You call it the Shack Hack.
Yeah, the Shack Hack.
Yeah. So you made a point to put emphasis on how it can only work if you're not married.
Yeah. So
what's the Shack Hack?
Yeah. So just in mortgage lending, there's a loan called the 203K loan.
Okay.
And essentially, you only have to put down 3.5%. It's a rehab loan, which essentially means you find a property, you make improvements to it.
Okay.
You only have to put down 3.5% of the cost of the building plus the rehab that you want to do.
Okay.
So 3.5%. That's little. It's very very little money. On a $200,000 bill.
Exactly.
Whatever. But the thing is, you can only do it if you're unmarried. So the Shack Hack is that I did the first one. We lived in it for a year, and then after that year, my wife went and did hers.
Okay.
So then we lived in hers for a year. So now by the time we got married, we got 2 multi-unit properties. You know what I'm saying? We got a 4-unit and a 3-unit that essentially pay for themselves because the tenants pay for everything. And now years later, we're able to use that same money, that the money from that building, the profits from that building now cover the house that we live in currently, and also put a little change in our pocket. So it's a super dope strategy that you can get into for little to no money down. And if you just run a play properly, you sacrifice, for a year, like, you gotta live in an
You come
apartment,
up real
live
good.
in an apartment for a year, but you do that for 2 years, and now you kind of kickstart like a real estate portfolio.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That comes with some landlording too. Like,
of course.
I like to. One thing I hate about social media and people that pitch you businesses in general is that people always make shit sound like a lot more simple than it is. They say, "Oh, well, all you got to do is blah blah blah." You know what I'm saying? So I want to. That's another thing that I want to do in my content too. I want to kind of reveal, like, all right, well, this shit ain't. It's nothing in life is going to be simple.
That's why,
or easy. Like, while we became landlords. You know what I mean? So that means everything that goes wrong in those buildings is on you. So you're coming out of pocket.
Yes.
People calling you 2-3 o'clock in the morning for bullshit that they probably should handle, but they calling you for it, and it's your responsibility to fix it. We in Chicago, so pipes freezing and busting in the middle of the winter. Roofs leaking.
Right.
These are all things that you have to be prepared for, because obviously with great privilege comes great responsibility. But if you're up to the challenge, it's definitely something that you should do.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good hack. So, okay, I might have missed that one because I'm married already and we haven't done anything like that though. So what'll be a good way that I could navigate that whole?
Yeah. So unfortunately, I'm not a mortgage lender, so
Right.
I don't know everything. But I would encourage you to find, go to a bank, or find a mortgage lender and say, this is my intent, because it's always like different tools and different mortgage things that they're coming out with,
right,
that'll probably suit what you're trying to do.
Right. Was location important for you, or you just wanted to find what was available?
Yeah, location out the gate wasn't important to me at all.
Okay.
So I was like, man, I want to get multi-unit property. I want to do this. What was important to me was the cash flow.
Okay.
The cash flowing of it all. I ended up kind of in South Shore with it, but my building is fairly small. It's a 4-unit, but it's all 1 units.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to charge a certain amount times 4,
exactly.
And then back when I bought my building in 2020, the interest rates were pretty low. So, my mortgage payment is low compared to me being able to charge, let's say, $1,000 per month times 4.
Exactly.
And then my mortgage right now is like $1,500, $2,000. So I'm able to take home some decent
payment. Yeah.
So it's real estate in general is always about the numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah. Location plays a major part in what the numbers are.
Exactly.
But, it's always about the numbers.
I was, we always having barbershop conversations, and one of the guys used to come in the barbershop. He owned a lot of properties in Riverdale. Mm-hmm. He gave a formula his formula on how he makes profit and gets his taxes paid. He said he takes the taxes, divide that up into the 12 months, plus 1,000.
Okay, yeah.
And then that's what he gonna charge.
Mm-hmm.
So is that kind of like formulas, or you come up with your own, or is that like
in terms of like charging what I
right.
charge? It's more so based on like the market.
Okay.
At this point, I've got a property manager, and I got homies that are realtors too, so I can learn. I can know out the gate like what's the market. I don't set the market. You know what I'm saying? It's more so what the market is telling me.
Okay.
But most importantly, the way I'm looking at things is, okay, my mortgage is going to be this much. I can ballpark what my utilities are going to be. And then I want this percentage to go into, like a reserve just in case anything goes wrong. After that, do I have something that I take home? Yes. Then it's decent.
Okay.
I'm saying a lot of people also, until you get into the game, you also think like, oh, I'm about to buy this multi-unit. This money that I'm about to make is going to change my life. Like, I don't even look at real estate that way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I look at it as long as it's going to cover, as long as it's going to pay for itself,
I'm cool.
And you make a little bit on the side, I'm cool with that.
I'm cool.
Because at the end of the day, you're not paying for the building anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And if you want to get a little bit deeper, the way my wife and I look at it now is like, buying real estate and doing short-term rentals is an incredible tax hack. And it's also a way to acquire, new properties to do Airbnb, VRBO.
Okay.
And you do that through what you call a process. It's a certain kind of it's called a cost segregation study.
Okay.
So what a cost segregation study is essentially, because if you're doing short-term rentals, the home or the apartment that you buy is now a business.
Okay.
So everything that's in that place depreciates way faster than it does like on a straight line basis. Like your man was saying, okay, divided by 12 months, right? Like, so when you depreciate a property, you depreciate it over the time of the loan. So typically 30 years, right? So if I got a building that's 300,000, I do that over, 30 years, that is what it is. But if it's a business, the fact that people are, using these cabinets, they're walking on these floors, they're, it's people constantly doing this, they're wearing and tearing on the building and the property so much, it appreciates way faster.
Okay.
So if you buy a building during the year and you use it for a short-term rental, instead of me depreciating it over a 30-year basis, I can now depreciate 10, maybe 15 years all in 1 year.
Okay.
So you buy a property at the end of the year, you get a massive tax write-off because you depreciate, you've got an asset, and the U.S. allows you to depreciate a bunch of years instead of just 1 year on the front end.
Okay.
So a cold strategy, if you got the balls for it, at the end of every year, you should be trying to buy a property for a short-term rental. One, because you get a new investment property, but then two, it allows you to have, 10, 15, maybe $20,000 in deductions. Yeah. So we don't, my wife and I together don't have the balls to do it, but we've done it like twice.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We've done it like, the past 2 years. We'll buy a property, do the cost segregation, get a big write-off, and, she's like, oh, we're just taking on more bills. Some people look at, new properties like bills. Some people look at them as like business opportunities.
It's investment. Right.
Yeah. So we try to, but my wife is, my wife's a lawyer, and she's like the speed bumps that I need most of the time. Like, yeah, slow down, bro. Like, yeah.
In that particular form of law, or is it, what kind of law does she do?
She does, don't give me the line. She works at K&L Gates, and she works on trademarks for like big fashion companies.
Okay.
Yeah, so defending trademarks, helping people out with their trademarks and stuff.
Right.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty decent, man. And y'all say y'all been down, what, how long? How long you been married?
It's been a long time. We've been married like 3 years.
Okay.
And I graduated college in 2013, so we probably got
y'all been down since then.
We probably got together like 2013, but I've been knowing her, maybe since 2000, 2009, 2010.
Okay.
So it's been quite a while.
That's what, and you make sure you got your dates in order.
Yeah.
Women, they don't play that. They want to know. I mean, you got to remember the day y'all met. You better remember every significant date in that whole tenure.
Yeah, we've been through that. Thankfully, she ain't like that. We've been knowing each other long enough.
Okay. She know your heart.
The important things. The important things.
She know your heart. You know an anniversary.
I'm still work in progress.
You don't forget birthdays and no shit, do you?
Nah.
Okay.
Work in progress. We do big birthdays. We actually just got back from. She just turned 35.
Okay.
We just got back from Marrakesh. Got back from Morocco.
Okay.
We did a big group trip for her birthday. Bunch of her friends took my son, my mom, and for my birthday last year, we did the south of France.
Okay.
And stayed in the south of France for a week or so. And, man, just party, kicked it.
You play hopscotch for real. You say, I done been to Atlanta, I done did.
Oh, yeah.
I done did all them. I done did the Calis.
Yeah, I talk a lot about that, bro. I believe in, like, instead of doing those 4 or 5 times a year, I stack my paper, and even if I go once, I'm going to go, hey, we can go to south of France or Morocco. We'll be in Switzerland. We'll be in Switzerland at this thing called the White Turf in February.
Okay.
And that's just super fly, where motherfuckers is out there eating caviar, magnum bottles of champagne, and it's a horse race on the ice. In St. Moritz.
A horse race on the ice.
Yeah.
That's different.
But we try to do the cool shit, right? Like I've been inspired, like, through rap music and just through the different circles that I've been. Like I talk about that, those big ponds, right?
Right.
And that's the importance. Like, where we come from, a lot of people be like, no new friends. I want to be amongst the same people that I grew up with and all this different shit. But I mean, if you come from a certain place and you want to get to another place,
that's true.
I believe that, you never, you cap your, how do you say,
You stunt your growth.
Stunt your growth.
Yeah.
You stunt your growth by, staying around the same people and doing the same things over and over.
Especially
again.
if they not on nothing.
Potential is the word I was looking for.
Especially if they ain't on nothing.
Yeah, that's the way I look and I think about potential, right? Like people cap your potential when you're young. They say, oh, well, this is going to be his potential or whatever. But as long as you continue to grow and meet new people, learn new skills, experience new things, your potential in life grows.
That's true.
And I can sit here with you and be like, yeah, I'm going to, Switzerland and blah, 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 blah. But it's certain people in certain circles that I'm in, it's like, oh, that's dope. Like, have you been to blah? You know what I'm saying? So next year, maybe that's on the list.
Put that on the list. Okay.
Yeah. And it's and it becomes more about experiences than material things.
Right. Yeah. And they also say, like, man, you need circles where everybody else is not to choose better, but
you can put it that way, bro.
You need circles where everybody else is
doing better in certain areas so that you can stay inspired.
So that way you can learn. So that way,
a lot of people will say, you're the average of the 5 people that you're always around. So that's your choice. Who are those 5 people gonna be?
Right.
And if you shy and if you like, oh, I want to be the same nigga from Ada Park and I don't want people that I grew up with to think I changed, well, the average of those 5 people are who you gonna be. That's
the shit I hate. Cause see, and you talked about this, the 100 way to age gracefully.
Yeah.
Cause that's a big problem today. Like we were just talking about earlier. You say some of the things that you would believe is common sense or should be common sense, ain't common at all. Like, man, what's the 100 way to age gracefully?
And that's a privilege, bro. And that's a privilege to have access, to that information. But I mean, the 100 way to me, man, to age gracefully, is it's about knowledge, to me. A lot of people like to connect it to finances. It's like, oh well, this big homie because he got more money. But aging gracefully for me is setting your goals based on your age,
right,
and your experience and where you should be in life and what people are doing in life. So for me, a goal of mine is not to be in Live on Sunday, at this point spending 20,000 or in any of these clubs doing this and showing out for women. At the age of 35 years old, like my biggest goal is freedom. And that's directly connected to finances and certain aspects. But that's my biggest goal right now, and I'm working hard every single day, to put together businesses and systems, to where I don't have to trade time for money.
Okay.
And that's my goal, right? And that's what aging gracefully kind of looks like to me.
Okay.
But it's impossible for me to age gracefully if I'm still chasing and competing with people like 21 years old, 25 years old, wearing the same clothes that they do, chasing the same chicks that they do.
Right.
Wanting to, just wanting to do things that were my goals when I was younger.
Exactly.
And like I was telling you earlier, I'm saying it's okay to age out of goals, bro. I'm saying, to age out of certain things. Like, all right, if I wasn't the biggest party promoter, by the time I was 25, I didn't hit the mark then.
I was gonna let it go.
Now, what's the new, what's the new goal, for 35? And it's gonna be the same way for 45.
Right.
I'm gonna be doing totally different things at 45 than than I was doing at 35.
Facts.
Yeah. So the goals change. Obviously, be in shape. Trying to hide your paper right, and then be thinking and growing, and also having some knowledge to pass on to the younger generation.
Yes.
Because that's one thing I talked about when we talked about fraternities. It's older cats in my life that are taking pride and passing on knowledge, age appropriate knowledge, perspective that they didn't have when they was 35, but they're giving me their 45-year-old perspective now, so I can navigate and stay on a different trajectory.
Exactly.
Aging gracefully is me being able to look at somebody that's 25 at 35 and say, yo, this is what I wish I knew. This is what I would do now if I was in your position 10 years ago. So that's what aging gracefully is about, man. It's about passing on that information, looking good, smelling good. Feeling good, bro.
That's
being
true.
Stable.
Facts.
Being stable, bro. We should be chasing stability.
Facts.
Chasing health.
Facts.
Like these are, these are ways that you age gracefully. And a lot of people out here, dominating the lanes that these kids in, they don't even respect that. You just an old man. You know what I'm saying? You just the old man. You dominate. For sure.
You dominating the lane. The kids,
you dominate. You killing it. You killing their lane, bro.
Right. You trying to be a big dog so bad.
In their lane. And they still looking at you like, man, this man 35, 40 years old.
Still coming to clubs, still hanging out with us.
And ain't nothing wrong with the club. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
certain ones. I feel like
plenty,
after a while, it should be lounges or...
Yeah. Well, I mean, to each his own, right? Like, we all party differently. You know what I'm saying? I'm a married man. I party differently than a single man.
Exactly.
You know, that's cool. And I got plenty of friends that's in the nightlife, that own clubs, that's promoters, that's bottle, you know what I'm saying, that's making money in these clubs. You know, at this point, it's just become more like quality over quantity. You know what I'm saying? When it's a club thing, I go out on birthdays and special occasions, and as humbly as possible, it's like, everything's gonna be in order. We're gonna do our bottle service. We're gonna be comfortable. We're gonna do what we do.
Exactly.
And then we're gonna go home, and then maybe 6-7 months next time it's somebody's birthday, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna do it again. But I'm not just there every week.
Do you always feel like you have to say stuff like that, or you just gave like that little disclosure that humbly as possible? Like, does that get on your nerves to have to say or do you wish everybody just understood the life? Like,
yeah, what's crazy? It's like I made a piece of content about this too. Where it's like every conversation that you have, isn't for every person. And it's about you, and it's up to you to understand, the dynamics of the rooms that you're in and the people that you're dealing with, right? Like, a lot of people that are highly successful or that are successful, even if it ain't massive success, they shy away from talking about their wins around certain groups of people because it can inspire hate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I sit here and I just pop like the biggest shit in the world, some people may feel like I'm bragging or I'm boasting. Right. Like, I don't fuck with Rotimi. You know what I'm saying? Because he talking a certain way. I'm not talking this way on purpose. I'm not talking this way to make anybody feel away, but I've been blessed, so much to see so much and have an abundance in different areas. It's just certain things that I can talk about in ways that I can talk, but I go out of my way to make sure that I don't make people, feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people, they win. A lot of people win and have things that they want to celebrate, but they shy away from talking about it because they don't want to make people, jealous or feel like, they don't want to inspire no envy or hate. But that goes back to that small pond and that big pond, right? Like, that's true. In your small pond, it's people that you're inspiring, that may want to hear you pop that shit. And in your big pond, you may want to pop that shit so people can be like, oh, well, that's cool, but what about this?
Exactly.
But then it's certain rooms that you're in where you may shy away from it because you don't want to make people feel weird or, look at you like, oh, well, he just bragging,
And then people not knowing you, not necessarily knowing, like, this ain't a brag, this ain't a flex, this is a complete lifestyle. Yeah. Like you say, since 4th grade, motherfuckers been knowing how you get down, who you were, and just how you move. I saw some pictures that I believe was your wedding. You went straight back to the culture with it, like. Yeah. I saw that. That was nice. That was nice.
What's up. Yeah, man. I'm of Nigerian descent.
Okay.
Rotimi Omoshan. I'm a junior. Yeah, it's my full name. But yeah, my dad is from Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay.
He came to the States maybe when he was like 17. My mom's from the Hunnits.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that's something that I'm very Americanized. A lot of people say that, like, bro, I talked to you, I wouldn't even know that your people were from Nigeria.
Okay.
But it's a lot of things that I learned, ways that I came up, a lot of teachings and stuff that my pops instilled in me. That's from him, being there, his way of life. But yeah, we do that, man. Every time it's a wedding or it's a party, we're gonna have an American vibe and then we're gonna have a Nigerian vibe for sure.
I saw one of the teachers at my kids' daycare. She married a Nigerian man, and they invited us to, I want to say it was the baby shower.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Y'all know how to support. That's what I picked up from that. Like you say, when you see certain things, especially when you see different cultures tapping into and loving on their culture, that could make the untrained eye feel some kind of way, or you, like you say, you hating, or But so at that party, the mother, she was standing around in a circle. I want to say she was almost kind of like spinning around, maybe dancing or something.
Yeah.
But man, the people gathered up around her. They came.
That money on her.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was it was amazing. It was shocking. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
All in the same moment. Because I'm like, they making it rain on her. They coming out. And man, I saw one guy, he went through a knot.
Yeah.
And I thought he was done.
Nah.
Brother went back in the pocket.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
For sure.
So explain that culture. Like, what is that about? Like, is that with everything, or like what's behind that? Everything, the history behind that.
I can't speak to the history behind it.
Okay.
But I do know like that's something that I've seen, and also my friends are saying, like all my American friends, anytime there's something going on, my dad birthday, my mom birthday, anything that we going to, like, yeah, that's gonna be, bring some singles. But what I will say, and it's funny, money is money in abundance affords you freedom. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Exactly.
the way that I look at it.
Exactly.
So I want to say Nigerian culture, you know what I'm saying, you support people, you know what I'm saying, with that, you know what I'm saying, with that money.
Yeah.
Support people with that money. So, when it's a party and things are going on, you bring your dollar bills, you spray, you know what I'm saying, you spray people.
That's the best
and
way.
That's the way you support them kind of in the next phase, or, whatever they got going on.
Because you see that with weddings, other cultures, like, I guess it's just like a common thing, and it's a good thing. Like, man, support, come out, show that love. Yeah, no, that's I like that. So like, what are some of the things, like you say, rich in history, rich in culture? What are some of the things that you would feel like that you keep in the culture that you just, I don't stray away from? I have to make sure we do this. I'm gonna make sure my son is about this. What are some of those things that I want to keep that's a part of the culture?
Yeah. I can't speak to, anything from the culture, like any, traditions directly. A little bit. Well, definitely the garb. You know what I'm saying? The garb, you know what I'm saying? The wedding, where people spraying money. But I would just speak to, like, and I don't even know if this has anything to do with being Nigerian, but it was just this feeling of like I really, really, really revered my father.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was just like the stoic figure. And he was a guy that like a lot of people gotta reprimand their kid, but the thought and idea of disappointing my pops was like, it would kill me. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to me to be, that guy and have that relationship with my son. Like, my pops was just such like a regal dude. Like, even amongst other Nigerians, when he would walk in a room, people would like bring a table and bring a chair. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just kind of had, he to this day, he still just got an aura. Like, he walks into a room and like you would think he owned the motherfucker. And I kind of I get a little bit of that from him.
Okay.
And he came to the U.S., bro, when he was 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even know English. You know what I'm saying? When he came, you know what I'm saying, when he came to the U.S., he didn't have no family here. He had absolutely nothing here.
Wow.
And you know what I'm saying? And he went on, to buy a house on the south side of Chicago, fully paid off now at this point. He started several businesses when I was growing up. Like, and he still owns a health food store on 108th in Halstead called El Norris Health Food.
Okay.
Shameless plug. He just went on to just learn a ton and open a variety of businesses and all this from just coming to the U.S., bro, 17 years old, absolutely nothing. So I've been inspired since I was a kid to like understand that with the little to no resources that he came to the U.S. with and made something massive of himself in our community. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can look at the world and say, oh, well, he ain't the richest man. You know what I'm saying? But it's just so inspiring to know that he came to a foreign land, bro, at 17 with absolutely nothing and made a great life for himself. And even in the neighborhoods that that I grew up in, where it's like, we in Ada Park, it's like every drug dealer come through Ada Park, the Roots Picnic, they driving these cars, they got these girls, they got these clothes, all these different things that we, aspire to be as youngins. I aspired to do those things from afar, but I was always just like enamored with my pops and the way he moved rooms. So, a lot of those, those thoughts and ideas and the things that inspired me, as a youth, go back to aging gracefully. Like, I'm inspired to, like, stay healthy, to look good, to dress nice, you know what I'm saying, to have nice things, so that my son, even though he's gonna know, he's gonna see the drug dealers, he's gonna see the scammers, he's gonna see all these different people. But I want him to be able to look back at home and be like, oh yeah, these people, it's dope, but they ain't fucking with my pops. I'm gonna follow the way he doing it. I'm gonna follow the way the way that he's doing it, the way that he did it, the way that he's telling me to do it, because what I'm seeing in the streets ain't bigger than what I got at home.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know that's a long answer for
no, that's real. Question, that's real. And see, that's why fathers matter.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know why the hell you got men out here that don't get involved with their children.
Yeah.
And it's like understanding that impact. Yeah. Somebody could grow up with so many problems in their life because your ass just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Knowing what that can do to a child, or just knowing, and then you got a lot of men that didn't have a man in their life. Just walk out on their kid like, how the fuck you know what that feels like?
Yeah, bro.
And that's why fathers matter. So no, that's important. That wasn't no long answer. That was a real answer.
Yeah,
a 100 answer.
A fact. I'm saying, and that's a huge part of manhood, bro. I'm saying being there for them kids, bro.
Yes.
Being there for them kids. If you don't do nothing else in life, bro, being there for that kid, and being able to build a life, for that kid that you didn't have for yourself.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly.
And then you a big part of, the way I think about life in general. And, it's kind of like running your race. You know what I'm saying? Running your race, right, for your last name. Mm-hmm. Like, we all gonna have a leg for our last name. You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do in your leg? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna set the family back in your leg? And it don't even matter where your family started at. You know what I'm saying? But are you gonna do your part? Are you gonna give it everything that you got during your part of the race? You know what I'm saying? To take your family last name to the next step, no matter what that next step is. And while you're doing that, you also setting the example for the kid who's watching you, who's gonna be like, oh well, all right, I'm gonna start where my pops left off, and based on the access and the resources and the information that I have from the work that he put in, I can take my family last name to the next level.
Exactly.
And I think that's generationally, that's how we gonna grow. That's how you gonna grow your last name.
Exactly.
Generation to generation.
No, that's smart, man. That's smart. Just, I don't know. It's just all about just making the right moves in life and just using everything just to leverage yourself and catapult yourself into just that better, the next phase, like you say.
Yeah, for sure.
You talked about leveraging your LLC though. Like, what's that about? Like, how can you use that? Because you got people out here, especially since the pandemic. Everybody got an LLC now.
Yeah. That's people's biggest accomplishment, man.
Right.
My biggest goal right now, man, is I got to get my LLC. I got my LLC.
What you doing with
it? What you doing with your LLC, bro?
Right.
I think the American tax code, bro, is just built for business owners.
Okay.
It's built for people that's doing business. That's why I believe in, making purchases, you know what I'm saying, that you can make money from. You know what I'm saying? But the next step, once you start making money from it, how do you not pay out all the money that you made? You know what I'm saying? And that's through having an LLC, that's through having a business, and that's through figuring out deductions. Like I talked to you about the cost segregation, right?
Right.
Me and my wife, we buy properties. You know what I'm saying? We got a property in Florida. You know what I'm saying? A short-term rental. Like I said, at the end of the year, we're able to write off a certain amount of expenses.
Okay.
Because that is in the LLC. You know what I'm saying? We bought it through an LLC. The vehicles that we drive, you know what I'm saying? The businesses that we own our vehicles. You know what I'm saying? So you can write off gas. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what kind of car you got at the end of the year, if it weighs a certain amount, then you can write off a certain amount. You know what I'm saying? For electric cars as well. You know what I'm saying? You can write off a certain amount. So it's, you know what I'm saying, it's beneficial to be doing business because you're able to write things off and not give that money back to the government when you, you know what I'm saying, when you operate through LLC. And then a funny thing, obviously I don't encourage y'all to do this, but for me, when I got like LLCs and I started getting credit cards attached to my LLC, I was able to fuck that credit up just a little bit now, you know what I'm saying, making mistakes and not affect my personal credit.
Exactly.
LLC. So I mean, there's definitely power and value in having an LLC, but it's all about knowing how to use it and being doing business with it, and then also reporting it on your taxes for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what about like establishing business credit with the LLC? Like, what do you?
Yeah. So I mean, that's the first step.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the first step to being able to buy anything in the LLC is establishing business credit.
You talked about the Dun and Bradstreet number.
Yeah, your Duns and your Bradstreet number. That's essentially your credit score for your LLC. So if you go to buy a house, you go to buy a car, they're looking at your Duns and Bradstreet number to see if you've been a good steward, of that credit in that LLC. But I mean, it's just like building your personal credit. You wanna get credit cards, you wanna get lines of credit, and then you want to buy things and you want to pay them off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You
That's
wanna
what
buy
people
'em and you
forget
wanna
to
pay it
do.
off, so that you know what I'm saying, so that your payment history is good. You want to have different lines of credit and things of that nature on there, and you be a good steward. You know what I'm saying, of that credit for
Okay.
years. You know what I'm saying, of that LLC and that business credit for years, and that's how you grow it.
That's what's up. So that way, when you go back to the table looking for loans and different things like that,
They can look at
it's
your
not a problem.
Yep, they can look at your business credit and they're like, okay, dope.
That's what's up, man. So what's the next business venture for you?
The next business venture for me right now, I'm learning. I'm starting a construction company.
Okay.
Learning new development.
Do you know anything about construction?
I'm learning.
Okay.
I'm learning. I've been taking classes for the last 2 years. The FOMO, like I want to say the FOMO of it all, but like kind of doing what we all do, right? Watching social media, and I'm just like, yo, people are like, taking plots of land and they're building, 2 and 3 unit properties. So I joined the class about it, kind of learn the process, and the money that could be made from it. And I was ready to just jump in with a couple $100,000, like let's get it popping, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had to take a step back and realize, all the shit that I'll be talking about, where I'm like, yo, don't get caught up in the FOMO of it all. Truly spend some money learning and understanding and like learning like what's at the core of this thing.
Exactly.
So I wanted to jump into new development, and then I learned like, okay, well, the construction and learning the trade is actually the backbone of this. Even if you don't become a master of it, you have to know something about it,
right,
in order for people to not be able to take advantage of you. So I went out and I took more classes, and I'm like, okay, well, owning a construction company is the way, and being a general contractor is the way, because even when you're putting up these massive properties, the general contractor is going to get paid first.
Thanks.
The general contractor is an expense. So if I'm the general contractor, then okay, well, that's an expense that I get to avoid. And I get to just, kind of learn, just spend time learning. But I put an offer in on some plots of land recently. They got accepted, so I'm waiting to close. I'm waiting to close on those plots of land. I took a class with Johnny Mullins, who's a big developer here in Chicago.
I see them a lot.
Yeah, but now I'm also in a class with he's your favorite developer on Instagram, my boy Rotimi.
Okay.
And he's just giving me, so much game. He's been such a blessing. He's been, teaching me construction, and just taking me through the new development process as well. And now I'm feeling confident and ready to really, jump out there and, develop some multi-unit properties. So that's what I'm gonna be doing in 2026. I'm gonna be focused on building 2 3-unit properties.
Okay.
In the Washington Park area.
Oh, that's dope, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. And it's funny, bro, because my girl would go like, it's like your goals is just all like the things you're doing is just always changing. You know what I'm saying?
I was just about to say that.
She feels like I lose interest fast, but I was telling her like it's not me losing interest fast. It's like the more I learn, like the more that's revealed to me, the more I realize that my goal was it was too small. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a very just privileged position, based on who I know, the things I know, that once I realize like, oh, this ain't the highest level that I should have been, you know what I'm saying, I need to be doing this.
Right.
So I may be halfway into one goal and then learn like, oh shit, like that's really what I need to be doing. So then it changes.
Okay.
Like, at first it was like, oh well, we just gonna own a bunch of, long-term rentals and properties in Chicago. Then we're like, oh well, this landlord shit kind of suck. Like, all right, well, what's the benefits of doing short-term rentals? You know what I'm saying? Then it was like, oh well, let's start flipping properties.
Right.
Like, I've been flipping properties is dope, but is niggas making money like building properties? And they're like, oh well, this is the game where you building properties. Like, okay, cool. And the next thing is gonna be like, oh well, that was fun. Like, what type of money is in skyscrapers? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, and that's part of just continuing to learn and grow and always be learning. And that's what I was saying about potential, right? Like, people cap your potential at a young age, not knowing that, man, the more you continue to have conversations. Like the people that I met in real estate this past year, I didn't know them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like through knowing people and, talking about the goals and the things that I want to accomplish, I'm able to continue to be connected to people. And then, new levels are revealed through new conversations and new relationships and new skills. Right. So your potential is really limitless as long as you continue to grow and to be inquisitive and, being willing to learn.
Do you feel like you give yourself time to get familiar with the level, or it's just like One day I'm thinking this, and the next day if I feel like something else, I'm just going like.
Yeah. No, I give myself time in it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I give myself time in it. But also it may happen the other way too. You know what I'm saying? Where I realize, okay, the prize wasn't the size that I thought it was. So then I go on to the next thing.
Right.
For sure.
And see, that's a good thing, knowing when to go. Like a lot of people don't know that they'll ride something all the way down.
Yeah.
Way past value or way past a time that they shouldn't, so that's a good that's a good way to look at it.
And it's a fine line there too, right? Like I mentioned my wife, like she's, you know what I'm saying, she's the one that may say, oh, you moving on too fast, like, and that comes with time and learning, but it's important to have that partner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I've been blessed, obviously with my wife, but with solid partners too.
Okay.
And other, like just friendships and things and people that I do business with, where I'm able to bounce ideas off people and things like that.
Right. And see, just when I thought, I'm thinking back over the summer now, just when I thought you was kind of away from the whole party scene, we got the damn school picnic and shit.
Yeah.
And I find out after I bought a ticket to one place, that you having a damn monster bash at another place. Like, was that planned or how? What?
Yeah, for sure. I kind of pride myself in like being like off the party thing a little bit.
Okay.
Like, off the weekly, you know what I'm saying? Like, like constant party thing, but for things that I like love and enjoy, and it's like, oh, I want to be around people that I love and that I kick it with, that I want to see. It's more so driven by that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was more so driven by that. The year before, it wasn't no party.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then I found that out. And I was like, oh, so let me put together a little weekend.
Okay.
And I did that. And then this year, I love the committee. You know what I'm saying? That was my bad, y'all. But they were, but they was having a party, and it was just far from the picnic. And I was like, it's a spot right here where we could just do it at, and then, that's how it ended up coming together.
Because it was definitely two completely different locations. I'm like, you know what the hell? But I mean, hey, anything Morgan Park though, it's gonna always bust.
No, that's a super fact. And I did some content about that too, like, the 100 way to be a party promoter.
Okay.
I did some content about that too, man. And party promoting too is like probably one of the best things that happened. One of the best things that I got in, man, because it allowed me to build community early.
Okay.
And that's a very like important part, you know what I'm saying, of that type of business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You understand that your lifestyle, what you put out there, the type of people that are going to attend the event. You learn just a lot about business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Through parties. At least I did.
Okay.
Growing up.
That's what's up, man. And that's all it's about, trial and error. As an individual though.
Yeah.
As an individual, like mistakes that you feel like you made, what are some of the mistakes that or some of the things that you encountered in your life that you kind of needed to move around, and what could be a lesson to somebody coming up under you? How can they prevent that, or like
big lesson?
Like, what was it? Was it a money lesson? Was it like a moral thing? What was it? Like something that happened to you that you?
I'll say, do things the right way and not the fast way.
Okay.
For me, do things the right way and not the fast way. I go back to the drink house. I go back to the drink house part of it. If you could have spent, if I could have spent more time. You know what I'm saying? Did more diligence, been more patient. To get the licenses that I need. You know what I'm saying? To not force. You know what I'm saying? Not force the situation. It may still be open to this day.
Right.
You know what I mean? I believe that anything worth having, anything that's going to be profitable, anything that's going to have longevity, it's going to take time.
Okay.
And it's going to take hard work.
Okay.
In the social media era, you look at the internet and you'll see somebody, driving that Bentley or that Rolls Royce, and I make all this money, I do X, Y, Z. First of all, most of it be cap.
Right.
But the messed up part is that people who don't have experience in business, or that lack life experience, they'll throw their money and jump out there. You know what I'm saying? The same way I was thinking about going into the new development with no, you know what I'm saying, with no experience.
Right.
Right. People typically look at that carrot that get dangled and chase like what's being shown on social media, instead of taking the time and the energy to understand what the foundation is, and to take the time to build that
Right.
and grow into something beautiful that can then produce, what that end outcome is. So I was a victim. I was a victim like everybody else, man. And just you just the FOMO. The
Right.
FOMO of it all. That's the biggest lesson that I learned.
Mm.
Don't be blinded by the FOMO of it all so much that it puts you in a bad position.
Trying to hurry up and do
I wanted to
stuff.
own a club so bad that I was like, this is the road that I was supposed to take. This is the road that I took.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's anything, man. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's gonna be worth it is gonna take time, it's gonna take energy, it's gonna take effort. And then, you know what I'm saying, that the things that you learn on the way are typically more valuable than the end goal.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And when you go through the trenches to get to a goal, when you get knocked off your square, when you at that goal, you know exactly how to get back.
Facts.
Because you've been there before.
Facts.
But when you take the quick way there and you experience some turbulence or some hardship and you get knocked down a little bit, you have no idea what it's going to take or even how to get back to the place that you were.
Exactly.
Because you took the quick route.
Okay. That's what's up, man. So, I mean, I see how you looking on top of your fashion. So what? I see you drop gems on that. So it's like everything, and I guess I'm saying you're needed. Everything that you're doing, you're not afraid to drop that gem or get that information, get that insight. You're not what they call them gatekeeper, as I would say. Like, man,
for sure.
Anything I can drop down, anything I can sprinkle, I'm gonna do that. You was talking about the 100 way to dress, the 100 way to live, the 100 way to travel, just living life in a 100 way. What's a good way? Because we see what's going on right now in the economy. It's bad. It's not necessarily a recession, but it's bad. People losing jobs, different things going on, SNAP benefits. What are some ways that you can, what are some positions you can put yourself in to make sure that some of these things don't affect you?
Yeah.
Just to like, I don't know, they just like how like AI is taking over a bunch of different jobs. How can you navigate, or how can you move? What's some of the ways, even if you know, what's some of the ways that you can move, or you can prepare yourself, position yourself?
Yeah. Obviously I don't have the the absolute answer to that, but for me the answer has been figuring out more than one stream of income.
Right. Okay.
Figuring out how to have more than one stream of income. Early on I talk about, man, you're saying the power of the 9 to 5. Don't leave that 9 to 5, bro. Do everything in your power to keep that 9 to 5. And while you're in that 9 to 5, don't just do your job. I'm saying any opportunity that you have to be cross-functional and learn other people's jobs, be growing and developing outside of working from 9 to 5, so that you make yourself valuable, overly valuable. I relate it to basketball, right? Like they say, progress is made in the off season. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to, that specific job, that gig, or that, whatever it is you're doing, make sure you master that, make sure you're invaluable there so that you can keep that 9 to 5.
Right.
Once you kind of master that 9 to 5, you got it in cruise control. Now, what else interests you? Do that research, figure out things that are low barrier to entry, right? Things that you can do in your spare time, you know what I'm saying, to start generating income. While you're out learning, do some real research, right? Like you can put it in Chat GBT. You can ask the AI, shit, what jobs are gonna be safe from AI? You know what I'm saying? Maybe being a barber.
Right.
Maybe doing construction. You know what I'm saying? They're saying right now, electricians, plumbers, all these things are gonna be the biggest jobs in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I did some classes with Home Depot online. You know what I'm saying? Where they were teaching you all the trades for free. You know what I'm saying?
I did a segment about that.
Yeah. Online, you know what I'm saying? Online, just doing that.
Okay.
So, diversifying, having different skills. I'm trying to make yourself a mainstay and like indispensable, at the company that you work at. And for me personally, you know what I'm saying, you got a trade here. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be able to get up every single morning in your life,
every day.
Custom hair, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Me coming from such a corporate, environment, a lot of the things that I do, and that I did, were tied to the corporate America. That's why construction was such a big deal to me, because I feel like that's something that I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna be able to do that no matter what's happening in the economy. Somebody gonna need their bathroom remodel. Somebody may need their kitchen. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, learning how to do things with your hands. Some area that I lack in. You know what I'm saying? It's somewhere that I'm trying to improve. And that's part of it too. Realizing where you lack and taking time to improve that. You know what I'm saying? So that you can feel comfortable. And then another thing that I wanted to talk about, I hate to switch, but you mentioned gatekeeping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is something that that I feel very, 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 very passionately about. No matter what game you in, like you'll start out, with a mentor, and if your mentor is doing what your mentor is supposed to do, it's only natural for you to be on a higher trajectory than your mentor.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people that have mentees, instead of being proud and excited the fact that this person is probably gonna lap you, they become jealous of that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want you to become big and successful, but not more big and successful.
Not bigger than
me.
Them. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I take pride in that. Like I don't little bro. I got homies younger than me that's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. They'll never tell you I call them little bro. I never call them little bro. They may say, hey, big bro. I'm never calling them little bro. Because a lot of people say little bro as a way to like exert dominance. So you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So nah, bro, I want you to be my big bro. It's the reason that I'm telling you this shit. I'm 35 years old and you're 25. It's so that you got knowledge and you got game and you see hurdles and can make a left turn where I made a right turn so that you could be on a higher trajectory than me.
That's what it's about. When you think about teachers, the student, the one that I'm giving the knowledge to, should surpass.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But you say a lot of, you got some people in that game where they don't really like to see that.
That's a lot of people experience.
Wow.
You'll see. It's a lot of people experience, man, that, they grow around people, and once they become, it's obvious that they're gonna lap them or become bigger than them. And people may shy away from them or put like certain hurdles in their place, and that's the true definition of gatekeeping.
Right. Have you had to experience that?
Nah.
Okay.
I haven't.
But you know it exists.
I know it exists.
Okay.
I know it exists. I haven't experienced it. I honestly haven't had a bunch of mentors.
Okay.
I haven't had a bunch of mentors to where I can experience, but I know people that experience that directly.
Okay.
And it's a shame, bro.
Right.
And it's a shame. And I haven't experienced it, and I'm making sure people that look up to me and that, come to me for advice or kind of, will eventually have what I have now, that are on that, they want to have what I have.
Right.
I want to make sure they never experience that. Because I'm encourage you to be twice as big as I am. Because I heard a quote that said, the best thing you can do with power is give it away.
Right.
Best thing you can do with power, bro.
Because when you win, we all win. I'm teaching you, you get in the game, you excelling, you expanding, you taking it further than what I could have. We all win that way.
At the end of the day, you're going to pull me up.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to see an opportunity to not pull me up, too.
But it's
my son up.
Right. Which, man, it sucks that it exists. But you know what? You got the people out here that say the game is to be sold, not told.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, though? Like, because I get both sides.
For sure.
I get both sides. Because, see, you could be trying to give the knowledge and people don't want to hear it. Mm-hmm. And then you can get tired and be like, okay, now, you know what? If y'all want this shit now, you got to pay me for it.
I believe in that.
Okay.
I wholeheartedly believe in that. It's a preference thing, bro. It depends on what you want to do with it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe in paying for game.
Right. Because you talked about getting a coach.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly believe in paying for game, because that person that's teaching you, they had to pay. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Whether it was financially, whether it was in time, whether it was an effort, you know what I'm saying? They had to pay. So if you want to charge me to teach me something that's going to add value to my life, I'm cool with that.
I'm okay with that.
You know
so I don't see it as, you just trying to get out or you just trying to make money.
Hell no. And I also believe in paying people that's close to me too.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? It'd be crazy. The closest people to you, you want to charge them, they won't. You know what I'm saying? They'll pay the next man. You know what I'm saying? Before they pay you when I'm your man, because it almost devalues you.
Exactly.
Just because I'm your man, like you'll pay the next guy for the same information. But I also believe in in giving the game away too. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. I give it away. Really just because, man, I feel like I've been in such a privileged position. And where I just feel like I got so much to give back, and I do it every day anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So why not put it online so that everybody can benefit from it?
Because every time you drop a video at gym, I'll see it, I watch it, I be on it, and I enjoy it because, like you say, it's game. You're not afraid to give it away. You're helping people.
I appreciate that. Bro.
Yeah, no. So everything in a nutshell, you say have more than one stream of income, multiple streams of income, stay in shape.
Absolutely. Because I mean, what's the point?
Exactly.
What's the point of chasing all these goals, bro? If you ain't got a health goal on your list,
Exactly.
You putting it all in the streets every day. You ain't had no blood work. You a ticking time bomb.
You don't know what's going on.
You don't know what your blood pressure is. You don't know what. None of that, bro. Another cheeseburger, bro. You could pass out.
That's
You
true.
know what
You
I'm
don't know
saying?
no levels.
Nothing else, but you putting it all in the streets every day to, to make this money to, support your family.
Right.
What happened when you ain't here to support your family?
That's true.
Yeah. So I mean, health and wellness is like it needs to be on our list of goals more. You know what I'm saying? Versus, I want this house, I want this car, I want this much money a month. It need to be like, man, I want my A1C. I want my A1C to be here.
To be low, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Health,
all those things, bro.
Because the health is the wealth, like you say.
Yeah, bro. It's pointless if you ain't here.
You spend all this time to get your money up, health fall. Now you got to spend all the money to get your health back up.
There you
So
go.
now you back at square one.
There you go.
When you could have just been maintaining everything, staying on the up and up in the first place, doing shit the 100 way.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a simple fact.
That's a good thing, man. Just doing everything the 100 way. That's what we're gonna apply to our life. Man, I definitely appreciate everything and the time. What's one lasting impression, if you got any, or one last tip, one last anything that you got for the people? What can you give us?
Man, I really want to talk to the shorties, man. And I said it during the interview, man. Anything that's worth it, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take effort. It's gonna take energy. You're gonna have to give it all you got, but it's gonna be worth it in the end. Don't be fooled by these guys in these streets, man. You know what I'm saying? We all know the street thing only in, one or two ways. You can have it all, brother. You can have the chains, you can have the cars, you can have the houses, you can go on the trips, you can do all these things. Go to college, get a trade, do things the 100 way, man. You ain't got to be a criminal to be a hustler.
Facts.
That's for sure.
Facts.
So yeah, man, kids, don't be fooled by everything going on in these streets, man. Stay on the straight and narrow.
Yes, sir. The 100 way.
100 way, brother.
Always a pleasure, man.
My man, thank you.
Thank you for coming,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Much love. I appreciate that. Thanks again for tuning in to the Trent the Truth Show. Please make sure you like and subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. Follow us on social media, Trent the Truth. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you want to be a guest, email me at TrentTheTruthShow@gmail.com. Again, that's TrentTheTruthShow@gmail.com. Thanks again. Tell your friends. Watch it together.